Hi, welcome back to Walls Woods. This is a test to see if we can hear Avery's obnoxious breathing in the background. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's listen. Hi, welcome back to Walls Woods. It's been a few weeks since we've made a video, and there's been a couple of different reasons for that. First of all, the weather's been very cool. It's been too cold to plant anything outside, and quite frankly, Mother Nature takes time when stuff is growing, so there hasn't been really much to report on out there either. Second is I've been sick. I was diagnosed with the coronavirus, and as you can see now, I'm better. I'm fully recovered, and for the last couple of weeks I haven't really felt much like being on camera, let alone being outside doing much. So over the last couple of weeks we've done some work around the house, tried to stay busy, and done some work around outside here too on our flower beds and such, and some of that we'll show you today. But the work has piled up and we've got a lot of updates to share with you today, so stay tuned. We'll get to all that here coming up next. One of the other things that we've been working on around here, just to ease some of the burden of quarantine, is we completely redid this flower bed. We reclaimed these old bricks from a fire pit that was here on property years ago when we moved in. We cleaned them up and they make a really nice border. And then we've planted some other things in pots. We've got strawberries growing here and here. And this leads to our little small fenced raised bed garden. Now I wanted to show you this because we obviously have the benefit of a lot of land here, and not everybody has that luxury. And I know that a lot of people are doing home gardening right now because of the quarantine. And you can do it for not a lot of money and not a lot of space. I think we've got about $40 to $50 worth of lumber here, and I got some dirt and manure from a nearby horse farm to start all this, and we've been growing things in here for years. Here we have a really nice bed of leaf lettuce, as well as some other leafy greens, some kale growing. Here we've got some onions growing, and of course got to have rosemary. Love the rosemary. And then over here in this bed, we just stripped this out last weekend or the weekend before. It had been overrun with wild strawberries, and we put a tarp over this bed and deprived it of light for about 2 weeks. Then that made those strawberries really easy to strip out. And then we planted 2 rhubarb plants in there. So I'm really excited to see what happens with the rhubarb. So one of the other things that's been happening around Walls Woods is little guys have gotten bigger. As you can see, the last time you saw these guys, they were itty bitty. They'd fit in your hand. Now they're getting pretty big, and they're running out of space. So we're gonna take this house and we're gonna move it out to the orchard, because ducks are supposed to help with Japanese beetles. And last year, Japanese beetles all but destroyed my fruit trees. So we've also got a bigger pool coming for them, so they'll have plenty of room to play and splash around. We'll show that to you when we get it set up. These guys have gotten a lot bigger too. These are our egg-laying hens that we bought, and they're getting really big. There'll be a couple more weeks we can put them in with the other full-size chickens. And then these are our newest additions. In here we have 4 meat chickens. They're meat chickens because their breasts grow a lot larger than the rest of them. And then we've got 3 turkeys. They're hard to tell apart right now, but in the coming weeks, I'm sure that difference will become very, very obvious. You know, just hanging out at Walls Woods, chilling. So one of the things we're going to do today is we're going to be putting in some of our plants that we started from seed pots inside the house. Here you can see we've got some nice looking jalapeno peppers, some sweet bell peppers. We've got tomato plants, some Romas, and some beefsteak tomatoes. And then here we've got some squash and zucchini. And then finally, we're gonna plant some more green beans. And these are seeds that we harvested from our very own sunflowers last year. and we're going to plant a whole field of sunflowers out in the orchard to help with the bee population and for pollination. All right, so I invested in this little cart to make planting and harvesting a little bit easier. And I can tell you from what we've already done here, it certainly does help. It's not the best solution in the world, but it's better than what we had, which was crawling around on our knees. So, got my trusty spade. Now we mounded and covered these rows several weeks ago. Now one of the things that's gonna do is it's gonna make sure that this ground stays warm, and it's gonna block the weeds. So what I do is I take my spade and I cut a little cross and then spread it open just like that. Then take the dirt out. Here, you can see we've got some roots and sticks and things. Just get those out of the way. Now, what I like to do is drop a little bit of fertilizer down in the hole, cover it back up with dirt so that the roots don't come directly into contact with it. Loosen up the dirt around the roots to allow it to spread. And then back the dirt goes in and around the pepper. Now, we just got to plant all the rest of them. So far we've got a row of peppers started, both hot and bell. Here we've got some okra, zucchini and squash, tomatoes. Don't know what's gonna go here yet. This is gonna be for cucumbers, but I haven't got them out yet. They're not ready. And here are the pea plants that we planted that very first video. And as you can see, they're already starting to trellis nicely up this little net. And then, as you can see through here, maybe you can see through here, the seeds that we planted have all sprouted. Pretty exciting stuff, right? I also wanted to show you guys some of the blooms on these apple trees, which are absolutely beautiful. They look like a little bouquet. And they're just gonna be loaded with apples. And then our peaches, which are just doing really, really well here. We've got peaches, tons of them. In fact, so many, I need to thin them a little bit because peaches aren't supposed to touch each other when they grow. I'll leave that guy. But we have loads of peaches. And then over here, I'm a little disappointed, but you can see I've got a couple of nectarines. Not very many though. I don't know if something's getting to them or not, but here in the coming weeks, I'm going to spray and cover all of the fruit trees that are going to be bearing fruit. Now I'm going to be spraying them with a organic spray so that we can keep the organic tag. And then hopefully between that and the ducks being out here, and then last year we built and put up this purple martin house to attract purple martins. Hopefully between those three things we'll keep the Japanese beetles at bay. I want to show you what we were doing next. We've laid out some rows here in this back part of the garden, and what we're gonna do is plant some sunflower seeds. Now, come on in closer. These are seeds that we harvested last year off of just 2 sunflower heads. And I've already planted about 1.5 rows, and I think there's enough here for about 5 rows. So we should have a pretty good harvest of sunflowers.